Time management in sales refers to the process of effectively using one's time to maximize sales productivity and achieve sales goals. It involves setting priorities, organizing tasks, and allocating time to different activities in a way that optimizes sales performance. Good time management skills in sales can help sales professionals to do a lot. Let's review a few of them. It helps you focus on the most important tasks. By prioritizing tasks based on their importance and urgency, sales professionals can ensure that they are focusing on the activities that will have the greatest impact on their sales performance. It helps you avoid distractions. Sales professionals can use time management techniques to avoid distractions and stay focused on their sales goals. It can help sales reps manage their time effectively. By planning and scheduling their work in advance, sales professionals can work to ensure that they are making the best use of their time. Increase productivity. Effective time management can help sales professionals to work more efficiently and accomplish more in less time. Overall, time management is an important aspect of sales success, and sales professionals who are able to manage their time effectively are more likely to achieve their sales goals and be successful in their careers. Let's talk about common distractors that take people away from being productive. There are several common ways that people in tech sales waste their time at work, including unproductive meetings. Now, sales professionals often spend a lot of time attending meetings that are not productive or relevant to their goals. This can include meetings with clients who are not interested in buying or internal meetings that do not provide valuable insights or actionable items. Inefficient use of email. Email is a necessary tool for communication in tech sales, but it can also be used as a major time waster if not used effectively. This can include spending too much time checking and responding to emails, sending unnecessary emails, or using email for tasks that could be better accomplished through other means. Over-researching. While research is an important part of the sales process, it can also be a time sink if done excessively. Sales professionals may spend too much time researching potential clients or competitors without making progress on the sale itself. Lack of prioritization. Without clear priorities, sales professionals may spend too much time on less important tasks or activities that do not directly contribute to their sales goals. Multitasking. While many people believe that multitasking is an efficient use of time, it can actually be counterproductive. Switching between tasks can lead to distractions, mistakes, and decrease in overall productivity. Poor time management skills. Finally, some sales professionals simply struggle with time management, leading to wasted time and missed opportunities. By identifying these common time wasters and developing strategies to avoid them, tech sales professionals can better make use of their time and improve their sales performance. So what are the ways top performing sales professionals optimize their time? Well, first, they have productive meetings. A productive meeting should have a clear goal and outcome, and once that outcome is reached and the action items are given, the meeting should come to an end. Amazon is one of the companies that is notorious for their meeting productivity. In their internal meetings, the first part is dedicated to everyone sitting in silence and reading thoroughly through the document or project that needs to be discussed. They realize that a lot of people won't read it before the meeting and it will be lost in their email. And so the priority is when everyone is reading it in silence, it will prevent them from talking before everyone knows what they're talking about to get them on the same page. And so once everyone reads it, the meeting will dive into the action points and make sure everyone is on the same page before moving forward. Eliminating waste has been the backbone of top companies dating back to the infamous Toyota production line, and it is the mindset of top performers and what they carry with them on a day-to-day basis. I challenge you to set effective meetings in your schedule for the right amount of time. You'd be surprised on how jumping on a call or joining an unnecessary meeting can totally derail your productivity, and so when possible, look to get questions answered over email or chats. I guarantee you'll be amazed on how much time you'll save on a daily basis and how much of that time you can invest into high returning activities like outbound prospecting or building proposals. This is something I am extremely guilty of, but living in my inbox. Yes, we are in sales and we have a million emails coming in, but that doesn't mean we need to live in our inbox. It may feel good to be checking it at all times, but I promise you, it's not the best use of your time. One of the global leaders I met with at Dell early in my career had over 500 people reporting to him, and he was a very important part of the North American sales organization. I asked him how he managed his time, and one of the secrets was not checking his email until 10 a.m. every day or having any chats open. That would allow him to focus on his highest value activities every morning without getting disrupted. And let's be real, when we go into our inbox aimlessly, we are almost looking for fires to be put out that will derail us from having structure in our day. Let's go through an example. Let's say you're demand genning and sporadically check your email and see someone needs a quote. Well, now you have lost your flow state and you're worried about getting a quote done. And quite possibly you've even started making that quote at hand and you're derailed from your main priority of sending out X number of emails. The silver lining and something to think about if you apply this to your life is what happens if you stop becoming enslaved to your inbox. In the Dell leader's position, he swore he was able to reply to every email he accumulated during the period he was offline in a 15 to 30 minute period and didn't have to open up email again until later in the afternoon. This may seem a little extreme, but it goes to show how top performers manage their time and understand how to put themselves in positions to get their most critical tasks done. Lack of prioritization is real, so often people are doing a million tasks but neglect to do the one thing that will ultimately move the needle for them to hit their number and be a great sales rep. Gary Keller, a famous entrepreneur and founder of one of the largest real estate companies in the world, popularized The One Thing, his famous selling book. Gary is known for his intense prioritization, and in any situation, he always asks himself the focusing question that will ultimately lead to the highest outcome. It goes something like this: what is the one thing that I can do such that by doing, all else would become easy or unnecessary? So in a sales context, it might look like, what is the one activity I can do such that by doing, all else would be easy or unnecessary to hit my quota each quarter? When you break it down to one activity and you have one priority, you can clearly define the activity that will make the biggest impact towards hitting your desired goal. A lot of people get stuck with competing priorities, and they will have a list of their top 10 priorities, which is counterintuitive. Gary claims a priority should be one, and if it is one, then you have a priority. If you have 10, then you have a recipe for disaster. I challenge you to ask yourself this question in every tough situation. Next, multitasking is not real. Yes, I promise. There have been countless studies on multitasking, and it is proven that it is not possible. What happens when we multitask is our brains are switching back and forth rapidly between one task and another. And so while it might feel like we are being productive, we are never fully hitting our flow within our work. Think about a professional player in the NFL. They are fully locked in and concentrated. They literally have to be, because if not, it can be the difference between staying healthy and having a serious injury. Imagine a wide receiver who's running down the field after a reception, simultaneously looking for his family in the stands. Before he knows it, a 250-pound linebacker comes smashing him into the turf and takes him by surprise. The good news is that typically doesn't happen. Usually wide receivers have their eyes locked in and they're looking for any defenders that can juke and avoid to prevent injury and do what they are paid to do, which is to go score touchdowns for their team. And too often in sales, we don't treat ourselves as athletes that need to be locked in into certain tasks. And it makes sense. We don't risk life or death when we're typing behind a computer, but we do risk not using our time efficiently. And that can be a huge killer in our career over time. Believe it or not, when you're doing a task, you are holding a complicated construct in your head. And the construct contains all the context behind what you are doing, like the context surrounding the customer situation and so many other things. And so when we multitask, we jump into a new part of our brain that requires a different construct to complete that other task. Recreating constructs back and forth is extremely difficult and inefficient. You have to consider all the factors that you were considering when you made that choice. You have to recreate the process that led you to that decision. And doing that takes time. Something that can help a lot is the Scrum method of project management that we'll talk about more in depth later. Scrum is popularized in software development and helps teams work more agile than the Gantt method of project management. Scrum makes the case that you should always prioritize getting tasks done into a working state and that it is inefficient to keep anything in a middle ground status that cannot be used by an internal or external user and given feedback on. And the reality is, if projects stick in the middle ground and get piled up, it leads to an even bigger backlog of inefficiency. And so I work my whole day this way. When I say I'm going to build a proposal, I work until it's done. If I say I am going to submit all my company expenses, I do it all at once. The main thing is to complete what I say I'm going to do and won't engage in any other project or task until the project at hand goes from non-complete to complete. If you want to take it a step further, you can do what I do and hang sticky notes on everything you need to get done on a daily or weekly basis and physically move it over to the completed side of your board when it gets done. Believe it or not, I find it useful to look at my Scrum board of activities that need to get done and ask myself, what is the one task that I should do such that by doing, I will make the biggest impact in my book of business? And so see what I did there? I've combined time management practices from Scrum and Gary Keller to find my own way of protecting my most important asset. Lastly, when it comes to time management, there are so many tasks at hand that you need to pick and choose what works for you. I am extremely guilty of opening up my computer and saying, I am going to work today, which is great, but I believe every river needs riverbanks. And so when it comes to a long list of small tasks I need to do, I always set the timer we talk about on my laptop for 30, 45 minutes. And yes, a timer I can physically see on my screen. I see people do this all the time, and the structure takes away a great deal of stress and improved productivity and happiness. For me, I love to work and be productive, but I also need to be outside for a few hours a day to work out to feel recharged. And so I'll set my timer for 45 minutes and knock out everything on my to-do list. It's funny because when I started doing this, I remember always thinking I had hours of work to get done, like hours of small tasks and monotonous activities. And then I would start setting timers and I'd be amazed at what I was completing in as little as 15 focused minutes. We as humans underestimate what we can achieve in a short amount of time, but I highly encourage you to use a timer to help structure your time. When my timer is set, I'm focused on completing the tasks, not checking emails, texts, social media, or anything else. I am locked in. And funny enough, this can help you outside of work as well. With technology consumption at an all-time high, the last thing we need to do after a long day of work is fatigue ourselves with more technology. And so even when I'm on YouTube or other platforms, I find myself setting timers more frequently so I know when I've been on for 15, 20, or even 30 minutes, and it serves as a reminder to get off and not get lost in the algorithm. In conclusion, these are all high-level concepts that you can use to help protect your time and help you be a more productive rep. I believe the most successful sales reps are truly the ones who are the least distracted. This may seem extreme, but I actually deactivated my Instagram when I first got into sales because I was checking it so many times per hour, it was taking my attention away from getting my critical tasks complete. Whichever route you go, understand that time will always be your most important asset and you need to protect it at all costs. Building systems to free up your time can help individuals produce more value, which in turn gives them more freedom to pursue their goals and interests. By taking control of your time and choosing how you spend it, you can live a more fulfilling life and contribute more to the world around you.